Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to 3 Shifts to Radical Self-Trust. My name is Stephanie Stanton. I'm founder of High Vibe Chick. I'm an empowerment coach for women who are impact-driven, who are here to help change the frequency of the planet, who are natural healers, coaches, cheerleaders, helper personalities, women who are just called to make a big, big impact. And I'm so happy to spend 30 minutes with you, helping infuse you with some self-trust, which is everything. Our quality of life is absolutely equal to our ability to trust ourselves. And I hope you walk away today with a real renewed sense and some tangible activities to help you feel more like you trust yourself. Let's just jump right in. 30 minutes goes fast. So I wanted to focus on this. This is, for me, been my source of suffering. And of course, because life is a mirror, this is what I attract from my clients. This lie that we tell ourselves that we are not enough, right? This lack and scarcity-based mentality that we don't have enough, that we're not good enough, that we're not doing enough, that we don't have enough skills yet, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough time, whatever it is that your brain tells you that you don't have enough of, that's the piece here that we need to deconstruct, okay? It has us feeling like frauds, right? Say you're starting a small business and you don't feel like you have enough clients or you have enough knowledge to put yourself out there, you're not good enough, right? It helps you feeling like an imposter, having you, again, reside in scarcity and lack. I don't have enough money. I can't do what I want to do. Doubting your ability. Okay. This is insane because if you have a calling to impact, you are able to impact. But that ego tells us, we're not good enough. It has you stopping taking action. I think we all know, like when there's something we really want and we get really close to it, the brain starts kicking in all these reasons why we're not ready, why we shouldn't take action, and we're paralyzed. And this is often when clients call me and they're like, I don't understand why I'm not doing the things I need to do, right? And of course, they're judging themselves. They're in that cycle of like overwhelm, frustration, feeling like, why am I not doing this? Just, really shitting all over themselves. And this is a big one, waiting to feel how they want to feel. Right? So say they want to feel abundant or they want to feel happy or free. They just put it out there, like waiting, like when I get there, when I do that thing, when I have that thing, then I'll let myself feel that way, which we know enough now about law of attraction is you only get that thing when you're a vibrational match to it, when you allow yourself to feel that way in the present. But that waiting, that can be really a huge source of suffering. It has been for me. And of course, wanting to quit, right? We get close to that heart's desire and it feels so painful not to have it yet and feel like it's not working and feel like we're not doing it right. And, all that, again, self-judgment just makes us want to give it up. So many of my clients and myself, at times I felt like this isn't worth it. Okay. I just want to give it up. I hate how I want it so bad and I can't have it. It's still out of reach. I just want to quit. Okay, so hopefully today you, again, get some insight and also some actionable steps to help you get out of that dark place. I was sharing with some clients the other day that if this talk can be anything, let it be relief for you in those dark days. We all have them. Literally just this month, I was, experiencing PMS. My daughter had COVID. The kids were home with me. I wanted to work on work and was totally unable to. I was feeling irritable, anxious, right? Feeling like things weren't working. Okay. And these things that I'm about to share with you is how I help myself out of it. So please let it be a call to know that you are not alone and that there is relief available to you and that things don't have to stay the way they are. Okay. All right, here we go. So the shifts we're going to make today are going to be to simplify the journey, to create the space you crave, and to shine your shadow. And we'll go into each one of those. Okay, you're here in the summit because you know you have an inner guidance system. But why I make that the first thing we talk about is because it is the most essential piece here. So much of our life we've lived from external guidance, the shoulds, what society thinks we should do, what our parents think we should do, what our friends think we should do. And also often like listening to people who don't have a great imagination. Maybe they're not living an extraordinary life themselves. And we're listening to the rules that they think. And we're not really trusting ourselves. And this has to become the most front and center thing that we listen to the most. We have to turn everything else down, and that can be really hard because what other people think can be very sneaky. It can come in the craziest way. But we have to at least hold the intention in our mind that this is of the utmost priority, that I'm self-led, that my guidance system will show me the way. And that's going to be however you experience it. Maybe it's a feeling in your gut. Maybe it's just your emotions in general. Maybe it's those intuitive hits. Maybe your body speaks to you in a certain way. Like I have every single course or teacher that I've ever found that was hugely impactful was precipitated by a really crazy, tingly, excited feeling that went up through my whole body. And after that happening a few times in my life, I realized, oh, that's how my intuition tells me that's my next right step. Even when I don't know about it, I don't know what it'll give me, I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford it. That feeling has been hugely influential with me. So I'm going to invite you to hold the identity of someone who makes their inner guidance their first and foremost navigator. Okay. And simply holding that intention, that's how I want to live. I want to be self-led. I want my intuition to be the guidepost. I want to be someone who trusts this over everything around me. That is enough to carry you on. Okay, we don't have to know all the skills yet. We don't have to be able to know how to channel yet, or use all the oracle cards, or do all the things. It's just holding the intention of I want this to lead. Okay, and that's simply enough for now. And then it's remembering that feeling good matters. Again, we can't have what we desire if we're not a vibrational match to it. Okay, we cannot have abundance if we're not allowing ourselves to feel abundant. We can't have freedom unless we're allowing ourselves to feel free. We can't have it. We're not a match to it. Law of attraction won't let it be. You are a powerful creator. You are powerful. And every single thing in your life is because you're holding a vibration that's a match to that. It just is. Okay, and some things in our life we like, and some things in our life we're like, yeah, it could be better. Right? And we got to really use that as, how can I help myself feel better in those areas? How can I change those core beliefs that cause those feelings? How can I really trust that how I feel is creating my reality? Because that's big. This really is asking you to stop trying to fix everything around you, the people around you, the situations around you, the job, the money, the house, the whatever, to stop fixing those things and really come back to the thing you can control, which is how you feel. And that is really scary to really trust that, because it looks so clear that these things need my help. And if I can just fix these things out here, then I'm going to feel better. But it's actually the reverse. These things can't fall into place. These things can't be seen as actually not a problem until I'm feeling better. We all know the situation where we're feeling good and something big happens and it seems like no big deal. Oh, it's all right. Versus when we're really burnt out or we're really exhausted and like one little tiny thing happens and it's a catastrophe. It's terrible. We have to come back to when I'm in alignment, when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling in a high state of being, when I'm a high vibe chick, these problems aren't really problems. There's actually nothing to fix. And actually in that, I'm my most influential. I can create the biggest impact just through my vibration and my energy alone. And that I can trust today that just by helping myself feel better, that I can actually help out there. And again, it's like so counterintuitive for us helper personalities, because we want to go out there and help out there. But you are worthy and deserving of coming back here, helping yourself first, and trusting that that's going to ripple out and help every single thing in your life. So again, let that be in the front of your mind. Okay. So this one's a hard one. I'm going to encourage anyone who has a problem they're struggling with, right? Maybe money's been a real issue. I just had my dog just broke her paw, and I had this huge vet bill come out of nowhere. And I was like, in my mind, my ego wanted to go to focus on that, How do I go make that money? How do I make that, it's like, wanted to go right to it, versus, which I want to give myself credit for this, noticing how that thought feels and saying, I'm going to take my eyes off of that, because I know my power to create has nothing to do and will be severely negatively impacted by focusing on the problem, focusing on the not enough, focusing on the lack. I'll just create more of that. I'll create 3 more bills out of nowhere, right? You have to take your eyes off the problem and put it on what you want. Okay, so let me think of another example of a problem. Say you're in a relationship and there's an issue in there, right? Maybe you feel there's a lack of communication or lack of support. It will never serve you to focus on that, to fix that, to get in there and get your hands dirty and fix it. Never going to help. It's just going to emphasize what's there. It's going to emphasize the problem. That doesn't mean don't work on your relationship. I want to clarify here, but you want to focus on what you want. You want to give energy and attention to what you're wanting to create versus the problem, versus enhancing the problem. What you focus on grows. Okay. And usually in the problem is inherent judgment, is inherent blame, is inherent victimhood. And all of those we don't want to grow bigger. Does that make sense? So I'm encouraging today, if you have something you're dealing with, you're struggling with, I want you to simplify by just taking your eyes off of it today. Just, I'm going to put that over here. Okay. And I'm going to tell you in a minute a way to do that. So the last point here is that this really comes down to putting me before we. And this is really the challenge for helper personalities. People like you who deeply care and want to help this planet, want to save people, want to love people more, want to change the frequency of the planet. We are called to work for the we. Now, service is a beautiful thing, but it only comes, true impact only comes when alignment is present, when we are role modeling extraordinary self-care, when we are taking care of ourselves and feeling worthy and feeling unconditionally loving to self, and then sending that energy outward. So we have to commit to me before we. And I'll tell you, the people who demonstrate this, they, again, influenced by their sheer energy alone. They have beautiful boundaries. They get deeply respected by others. They are so loved and so admired effortlessly because they're a vibrational match to that, because they have committed to loving themselves first, to choosing themselves before everyone else, and trusting that if they just stay here and they just do that and they keep it simple, they stay in what they can control, me, that will positively influence everyone around them. So we're going to simplify today. We're going to put everyone else down. We're going to put the problems down, take our eyes off of them, and we're going to come back to feeling good today. So I'm promising that every one of these shifts, I want to give you a tangible thing to practice. And these are things that are my go-tos when I'm in that dark place, feeling overwhelmed, feeling frustrated in that space, that are my go-tos. So I'm sharing them from my heart. And I hope that of the three I mentioned, there's one that you at least try, because they've been really helpful to me. So the first one is to make a short list, maybe 10, of your heart's desires, the things you want, right? Some of mine are, scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef with my kids, paying off my house, getting married again, redoing my kitchen. Trying to think of another one. Oh, learning French. So some of my heart's desires. And I want you to do that. Sit with your intuition and ask yourself, what is it I want? Okay. Even if it's like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want this shitty marriage. Okay. What do? I want a loving, supportive marriage. Okay. Make 10 heart's desires. And then when you have them, next to them, I want you to write how it would feel to have that thing. So just a list of feelings, maybe one or two for each one. So for example, learning French would feel worldly. Scuba diving with my kids would feel fun, proud. Redoing my kitchen would feel abundant. Paying off my house would feel free. Okay, so just assessing what it is, the feelings that your spirit is craving. Okay, and then when you're done with that list of feelings, choosing one today that you can give yourself, or two, right? So for me, that would feel, I think my go-to of just the ones I labeled there would be fun. Before I did this talk, I really held the intention in my mind of let it be fun. Let it not feel stressful, right? Let it just flow for me. Let it be fun, because this is what I'm born to do, right? So finding the feeling that you want, and how can you give yourself that today? Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's a call with a friend. But the point is, you're not waiting to feel that feeling until you've gotten to some unforeseen place, or gotten that thing, or achieved that thing, that you're bringing it in today, and you're feeling worthy of giving that to yourself today. And it can be really simple, really simple. And I would love, love, love just to hear back from anyone, especially in the live, sort of what the feelings were that drew you the most, and how you gave it to yourself. All right. Creating space, creating the space you crave. So space is actually one of my highest values. I just love feeling independent. I love solitude. I love interior spaces. I love expansion. I love space to grow. So I had to bring that word space in here for you, because it's just on brand for me. So Spirit is really calling us to give ourselves space to tap in, space to be quiet, space to listen to ourselves. Okay. I don't know how intuition comes to you, but for me, in my journey, it's come through mostly movement. I feel really inspired when I'm walking. For some reason, just intuition pops in. I'm like, oh my God, I have all these ideas. It comes usually connected to water for me. Like I'll have great ideas in the shower, or when I'm in the ocean, or when I'm swimming in a lake. Just water, it's like helps me feel more intuitive. Another reason to drink lots of water every day. You get way more intuitive. It also comes when I'm in meditation, when I'm sitting, when I'm quiet, when I'm asking for help from my guides. I hear very simple, intuitive hits, but none of those, for me, none of that inspiration comes to me if I'm not leaving any space for that. And as a single mom, I can busy myself like crazy. I can want to get all my to-do lists done and clean my house and do for everyone else and take care of all my coaching clients and forget that I need the space too. And always when I'm in those like dark places and I'm not feeling good and I feel just like really inside, it's because I haven't given myself the space to tap in. And that's always my go-to to return back to. Oh, I need some space. So whether that, again, is just a simple walk, a hot shower, a night away in a hotel room where I can just do me, I'm getting into my hot tub, I'm sitting and doing like a simple meditation. Whatever that is, I need to come back to that because that is my first and foremost way to connect. And every time I'm not feeling good, it's because I'm pinched myself off from this connection. I'm out of alignment. And when I'm out of alignment, the answers can't come. The inspiration isn't available. And it's always a call to come back to this. But I want you to really hear that it can be so simple. The brain can tell you that's not going to work. You don't have time to walk. You don't have time for a shower. That won't even help anyways. Meditation's too hard. It can tell you all the bullshit. But the truth is, this is where clarity is. This is where those good ideas are. This is where a good perspective is. This is where peace is. This is where the answers lie. And if we don't create the space to tap into that, we're running at half power, maybe even less. All right, clear away the old. Okay, so this one's big. This one's been big for me. So often when I want something new, I'm being asked to step into a new identity, a new version of myself where that person has the things that I want, right? So what's really been hard for me is the things that are not helping me have what I want in my history, codependent relationships, jobs that I've outgrown, not valuing myself enough and not letting money in, all these things that undervalued myself have been really hard to let go of. I heard someone say one time, I loved it. I leave claw marks on everything I needed to let go of. That was so me. Like, no, I don't know how to let go of this thing. Mostly it was a lot of really challenging relationships, partners, because I didn't know who I was if I wasn't caretaking in a codependent relationship, if I wasn't helping everyone before myself. And I had to be willing to clear away those things that weren't a representation of what I want. I had to stop settling. I had to stop asking for too little. I had to stop being okay with not receiving. And that was really, really scary because it came with a lot of guilt. It came with a lot of fear. It came with a lot of like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that's safe, right? But we can't become who we want to be by holding on to who we've been. And we have to be willing to do uncomfortable things and let go of things that we think we need. Our lives change when we let only nourishing things get in. Only nourishing people, and you know nourishing people, you have more energy when you're with them, after you're with them, than you had before. Everyone else that you feel drained about, it feels like hard, it feels like you gotta tap dance for them or walk on eggshells for or say things right. All those people, that's not nourishing to your spirit. That is draining to your spirit. I purposely don't listen to a lot of news because I find it draining. not judging news. It's a draining thing for me. I don't listen to a lot of people who are sort of really drama-y or angry. Like, it just doesn't feel nourishing to me. I don't listen to music that feels really chaotic. This is just how my sensitive being works. I need things that feel really uplifting, make me laugh, feel safe, feel loving, feel high vibe. So that means everything now. It used to be, I have friends like that, but my partner's a little, right? Now it's like everything. My work has to feel nourishing, and it does. I feel more energized every time I meet with a client because I pick high vibe clients. My partner lifts me, supports me, helps me feel so worthy and so loved and so lovable. The media, again, the talks I listen to, the books I listen to, the music I listen to, only nourishing gets in. And that is a self-loving commitment, because it's my space and I'm a product of my space. And if anything feels heavy, that will bring me down. And finally, this is your tangible practice, number 2, is really practicing knowing that you don't need that. Okay. This is kind of 2 parts, but both wants to be talked about. One is, an example I have with my clients is they come to me and they think that they need all these things to make stuff work, right? They need the website to be perfect. They need the business cards. They need the office. They need everything to be perfect. I know I was very much like this when I was starting out as a photographer 20 something years ago. I didn't feel enough sense of value. So I had to get all the things. I had to get the expensive camera equipment and the backdrops and the printer and the computer and the accessories and the props and all the things to show the world that I was real, that I was valuable. And I've learned that as I become more complete in myself, more solid in my own worthiness, more owning my own value, that I don't actually need anything that I thought I needed. I guess I need a camera, but that's it. I don't need all the things. I'm good enough. I am enough. And again, I remind my clients all the time, you don't need it. You and just your call to help people is enough. So the first little practice of this is, what if you tried on that you don't need that thing that you're telling yourself you need before you actually do what you want to do, which is help people? What if you just go straight to a helping conversation with that person? What if you just do that thing you want to do? Maybe you want to go on vacation. What if you don't have everything all set and ready and prepared before you do that thing, before you book that trip? What if you let yourself go on a date before you've lost the weight, right? Or you gave yourself a photo shoot before you got everything perfect, you know? What if you stop putting something in between you and your heart's desire? Okay, that wanted to be spoken to, because I don't know what that thing is for you that you've been thinking you need. So just sit with that. What is it I've been thinking I need that I don't actually need? And I can go right to that thing. Okay, that's part 1. The other part, which I love, because I'm a minimalist at heart and I love creating space and I love letting myself feel free and have room to breathe, is every time I'm feeling anxious or in lack or in scarcity, or I need something to solve the problem, I grab a paper bag and I walk around my house and I put things that I no longer need. I clear away the old things that remind me of who I was in the past that don't feel relevant anymore. You know, books I'll never read, tchotchke that I no longer am lit up about. And I put things in the bag. This does 2 things for me. One, it helps me feel like I'm clearing away the old, right? Creating space for this new identity to come forth, giving myself room to breathe. But also, as I'm looking through all my closets and my drawers and my rooms, I'm realizing how much I have, how enough I have, how much enough I have. Oh, I have plenty of towels. Oh, I have plenty of dishes. I have plenty of books. I have enough, which in my mind mirrors back to me my enoughness. I am enough. I have enough. I am safe. All is well. I have enough. I'm okay. I'm safe. I have enough. It just was a great reminder of my enoughness. So this practice, hopefully you got that. It was a little convoluted with two there. Is just to think about what for you have you been telling yourself you need, you actually don't even need. And also, what can you clear in your environment that is going to remind you that you have enough, you are enough, that you are safe, that all is well, and just reset you. I hope you try that one on. All right. This one I think I love the most. Shine your shadow. So as a coach, I knew it was fundamental to not only work with my clients one-on-one, because they get that private, custom, unconditionally loving one-on-one attention, but I also knew I had to have a group. My brand is about sisterhood and really trusting ourselves. And I don't think that that's really possible unless we are seeing ourselves in the eyes of sisterhood, of a group, of a tribe of people who unconditionally love us. And that can be really scary for people to first enter a group, to say the things, to burden people with their stuff, to get vulnerable, to really be seen. We have huge fear of visibility usually and of looking imperfect. But this has been, I think, the biggest catalyst for the confidence growth and the feelings of wholeness and worthiness that I see in my clients is sharing at group level what's actually real. I don't think you can thrive and feel truly successful or live an extraordinary life without feeling ridiculously supportive. So I usually use that phrase daily, ridiculous support, because that to me is the way forward. The time of us trying to figure this out all alone and just think we're the only ones who are feeling this and be so self-obsessed is over. We need to feel worthy of support, of being around a tribe of people who can really see us and be with our truth and respect it and love it and honor where we are and celebrate who we are. If you are not giving yourself that gift, I promise you're not thriving like you could be. You might be doing okay. You might be a high achiever. You might be having it all together. Your life might be looking good, but I promise you are not as fulfilled, as thriving as you possibly could be. So just keep that phrase close to your heart. How else can I let myself feel ridiculously supported? I know for a really long time, I felt like to please everybody, to make everyone in my life happy, I had to do things right. I had to do it right for my clients. I had to be good at everything. I had to be a good student. I had to get it all right. I can't get it wrong. And that was because on a core level, one of my greatest fears is that I am wrong. There's something about me that's wrong. And that's a very common one. That's a big one for the ego, is that there's something inherently wrong with me. But how that comes out is I always have to do it right. Everything has to be right before I put it out there, right? I was having a little self-doubt even before this session because, my daughter's been sick all week. I have a little bit of like a tickly throat. My energy hasn't been like through the roof. And I'm like, oh, is it the right time? Am I going to do it the right way? Are they going to get the right energy from me? Right. Again, it's that old tapes of I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. So what I'm going to encourage you to focus on is actually just being with the truth rather than being right. Your authenticity and your realness and your vulnerability is so attractive to people. We just want to connect with each other. We just want to feel not so alone. and we just want to see each other's hearts. It is not attractive to see people's brains. Like, I could have memorized perfectly a presentation for you and given it in like just the perfect way, said all the things, right? And you'd be hearing my mind, my brain, versus I'm just trying to trust that what's going to come through here is someone's going to resonate with. Like, you're hearing my heart, you're hearing my love, you're hearing my passion for what I do, what I believe in. And that takes a little bit of a surrender. I had to sort of, hit record and just go with it, right? Which is a little nerve-wracking, but I'm, again, hoping that you'll hear my truth over rightness. Okay. And the more we're leaning into that, can I speak my truth rather than it being perfect, it being right, it being articulate, right? And let people feel me, let people really see me and know me. That is everything. So as a coach who likes to coach coaches and healers and, people, again, who are like really drawn to helping, I get so excited when my clients are triggered by something, or when I'm triggered by something, because I know that on the other side of that is like a huge awakening, a huge shift. It's really interesting to me. And I work with women who are also really excited. Like, they're like, holy shit, something's really up for me. This is really big. I'm really triggered. And yet they know they've done enough work on themselves that they know this is going to be good. I'm going to see something really good. I'm going to learn from something really good. We're going to really play with the root cause of this and clear it. And I just want to put that out there, that your shadow shit that's stirred up in you, triggers for you, wounds for you, can actually be like such a cool thing to play with. Like, it can be exciting and you can be really curious about it, and it can actually be fun to play with that. We're so usually scared about working with that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to look at that. I want to avoid that at all costs. I'm in total resistance to that. But what if there could be a space for you to be with people who honor that? Like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be juicy. This is going to be delicious to play in. And you can let yourself experience the enlightenment that comes with working and playing with that trigger, deconstructing it, and looking at it and bringing it out to the light, and actually enjoy it. Healing work can be so pleasurable. And I just need to have people hear that. I love it. I am such a healing junkie. I am always having a healing session or coaching session or something where I'm like, this is up for me, and I want to play with this, and I want to look at this, and it excites me. And I desire more people to want to play with that, because on the other side of that trigger, of that pain, of that wound, is clarity, is confidence, is self-love, is pride in yourself, is just space and freedom, all the good stuff, and the only way out of where you're at is through, right? The only way out is through. That's such a beautiful quote. And I hope you give yourself a ridiculously supportive environment to play with those triggers and enjoy it, where nothing is wrong. There's no judgment needed, that it gets just to be something that's interesting and curious and needs some love, right? That it can be genuinely pleasurable to liberate yourself from. Okay. The last tangible shift or practice that I'd love to offer you, and really take it as like a double dog dare, is to find an environment where you can see people as just like me. One of the greatest gifts of my coaching group that I facilitate is that I look at every single one of my clients as a mirror to myself. I see, them, and I look at them and I'm like, just like me. Same fear, same trigger, same like worry, same thoughts, same joy, same excitement, just like me, just like me, just like me. Even though, we're all varied. It's a diverse group of women with different callings and different, same calling of helping people, but different, passions. But we share those same core feelings. And I think the biggest source of suffering for people is we feel disconnected from other people who are experiencing what we're experiencing. We feel like it's just me. I have to figure this out alone. And I need to get it right. And there's a wrong way to do it. And I'm not doing it right. And it's not working. And I'm by myself. And again, my huge request to you is that you give yourself a space where you can shine your shadow, where you can feel ridiculously supported and see yourself in other people, and really allow that to soothe the parts of you that you've been not accepting, that you've been in resistance to, because it will free you. And whatever, if there's a limitation coming to mind, like, well, I don't have the money for that, know that there are resources or groups of people at every income level. There is a ton of support groups that are free. But just sort of check in with how's that network for me? Do I have that tribe that I feel safe enough shining my shadow and really saying what's up for me, really exploring those triggers? Do I have an environment that I feel safe enough to do that? And do I feel worthy of giving that to myself, knowing that could help me thrive, that would liberate me, being able to really see who I am and really celebrate who I am, and really, really practice unconditional self-love. Okay. This week went so fast. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I want you to try one of those practices. I so look forward to having you come to the Q&A for us chatting. I'll do some laser coaching if you'd like to show up. Anything that's been up for you, any of these sort of lies of not enoughness have been up for you, I'd love to specifically work with you. So please, if you can come to the live Q&A, I would welcome that. And if you ever want to connect in the future, show up to highvibechick.com, book a free call with me. I'd just love to get to know you better. And yeah, just be part of your healing journey. Thank you so much for spending a half hour with me. I hope you got something from it. And if no one's told you this today, I love you. You are worthy. You are whole and complete as you are. Mwah. Thank you so much.